Hello and welcome back to Nosedive. So last time when I was playing Nosedive, I had already played it once before and was just narrating over a second playthrough. This time, however, I'm going in completely dry. I have almost no idea of what's going to happen in the next chapter. So I figure we might as well just dive right into it. So chapter select. And here we are at day 2. So last time we had gone through some files with our mission and we found out that Bruno Bucciarati is dead. But at the same time, he's also kind of come back as a ghost, and I believe this is gonna A, lead into some pretty big ship feels territory, and B, possibly also cause a rift with Mista. I don't know, we'll just have to see how it goes. So now we got our boys eating some nice breakfast. Join Mista for breakfast. You absolutely chew on a bagel, while Mista scarfs down an assortment of breakfast sweets. Yeah, it does kind of look like he's got more than one thing on his plate over here, as well as the muffin. Our boy's a little glut. Beds here are actually pretty comfortable. I was expecting to be sore this morning, but I slept like a rock. How'd you sleep? Fine. Fine, as always, was a lie. You had woken up with a headache that makes even chewing feel grating. Aw, look at this depressed man looking at his bagel. I don't know why, this is cute. You take a swig of your coffee to down the dry bagel. Mista chuckles. Read somewhere that first nights are always rough because our brains keep us on high alert in new situations. Seems like it wasn't a problem for you, though. You know me. I can sleep anywhere. This you can attest to. Out of respect for the manager on shift, the employees working on the night of the incident had been left alone, leaving the local police to perform the necessary follow-up. Look at his face. He's just like, with the muffin. Oh, my God. Rhoda, you made Mista frickin' adorable. Unfortunately, you two couldn't afford to waste that kind of time. At your request, the police had contacted everyone who was there that night for interviews. After a few hours, they report back that of the ones they were able to contact, a handful could be able to come by the motel tomorrow. For today, you'd been informed that the manager would be on site this afternoon and that she was willing to talk. You plan to also take a look at the security footage. Oh, does this mean we're getting into some sort of Blue Badger scenario from Rise from the Ashes, or just hope my crappy laptop can run this. You and Mista return to the lobby at noon. Instead of the manager, you see a bored-looking girl playing on her phone at the front desk. Looks like her name is Penny. She doesn't even spare a glance at the door as you enter. You clear your throat. ... Guess we're gonna have to ring the bell. You hit the bell on the counter to get her attention, perhaps with a little more force than necessary. Or maybe just enough, as this was enough to spur her into action. She scowls as she sets her phone down.
didn't know the people coming by would be this handsome. How can I help you?
I'm starting to think this is the same girl we met back in day 0. I don't know. Maybe I just have a bad face memory. Mista lets out a chuckle and rubs his neck in what you assume to be polite sheepishness. He's never been one to keep his cool around an attractive woman. We were told the manager would be meeting us this afternoon. Would you know where she is?
Oh yes, of course.
She holds her hand against her chest and scoffs in faint affront.
I am the manager.
Aw, poor Abacchio. Your tolerance for her bullshit is wearing thin, but you didn't feel like waste time arguing with her. Well then, we'd like to ask a few questions about the victim. We understand that he was a guest, and we're hoping you can help identify him.
Can you show me a picture?
Oh, I see where the tension's going here. Well, Mr. Abacchio's feeling a little possessive, I guess. You look over at Mista. Well, the only one we have is... The girl shrugs.
A dead body doesn't scare me.
Mista shakes his head, obviously thrown off balance by the girl's attitude. Okay. You find her nonchalant suspicious. You unclip the photo from the police report and pass it over the counter to the girl. She holds it out in front of her, studying it with the occasional hum of consideration.
Wow, so handsome. We, don't see pretty people here that often.
She sets the photo down and reaches behind the counter, pulling out and opening a binder. She skims down the register so quickly that you seriously question whether she's actually searching or just playing the part.
I think you checked in as Bruno Bucciolati.
You blink. The name strikes a chord. Though perhaps it's related to its alliterative nature. It's the kind of unique name that you could plausibly think you've heard before. Bruno Bucciolati. How odd. You put the photo back into the file.
Probably isn't real. Most people check under fake names. Duh.
Oh my god. Look at how she's just staring at her nails and not cooperating. I think I made the right call giving her the same annoying voice as the girl from the first installment.
You're the cops. Shouldn't you know what goes on around here? Penny!
Oh god, who's this? An exasperated older woman emerges from the room behind the girl, hurriedly wiping her hands on her pants. What's on those hands? Is that blood? It's immediately apparent that the real manager was on break, and the girl behind the counter was just an employee gone rogue.
Make yourself useful and ask if maintenance needs anything.
Too startled to retort, Penny grabs her phone with a dramatic huff and stomps out of the lobby, slamming the sliding door shut behind her.
Sorry about that. Penny is quite a handful. She'll be back in college soon.
She rubs her temples. You're tempted to do the same.
What can I help you with?
Mista offers the manager a conciliatory look. Oh, both of them look so done. I love this. We're hoping you can tell us about what happened on the day of the shoot. And we would like a look at the security tapes as well. Mista frowns at you, but lets it go. The manager nods and takes a moment to collect herself. As she does, Mista takes out a notepad to record the conversation. Alright, are we just gonna read along, or do we have to get into some sort of more involved sequence or whatever? I don't know, let's go through it. And maybe save as well, just in case. I never went through the save menu either, so I guess this is what it looks like. Let's do this empty slot here. And return.
Well, I was manning the front desk that night, as was Penny. The man checked in around at 9:15, 9:20 p.m. under the name Bruno Bucciolati. There was no one with him. He checked in alone. After he finished checking in, he left the lobby out the front door back to the parking lot. I think there may have been someone else with him in the car, but I couldn't get a good look. But a little bit later, I saw him going into his room by himself. Room 42.
The manager motions over to the side of the motel, where you assume the room is. Yep, that certainly looks like the place where we were investigating last time.
And then around 10 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati went out to sit at the chairs by the pool with a magazine. I thought it was weird that he would be out there reading the slate, since it was so dark. And
The woman is shaking, her hands clenched tighter.
and then it happened.
Why does Mista look like he's still smiling? It's kind of killing the mood. Mista nods understandingly. Or I guess he's doing some kind of awkward smile. I don't know. Thank you. I know that was difficult, but your information is very helpful. Can we see those tapes now? Their faces. Oh my god. Mista glares at you, not so subtly jabbing you in the ribs. Both of these are grade A reaction images. I love you for this, Rhoda. The manager looks like she's on the verge of tears. You quickly try to soften your tone. If you don't mind, of course. The manager nods and sniffles.
Of course. Go right ahead.
There's his nice little glasses. I love how he looks with the glasses and the half ponytail and the little titty gap. The manager opens the folder on the computer and goes back to the back room. You take a seat and begin looking over the footage with Mista. Alright, time to view some files. Nice little interface we got going on here. Guess all we can do is just look at the stuff. Just gonna put in another save as well, just to just to make sure we don't run into any game over sequences or branching things. All right. 1 lobby 0721. The footage shows the lobby with a limited view of the carport. You can see the cars driving by. Oh, there's one. At 9:18 p.m., the car belonging to Mr. Bucciolati drives through instead of stopping in the carport. Oh, here he comes. At 9:22 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati walks into the lobby from the back, assumedly from where he parked the car. He's carrying a designer duffel bag, which had already been sent to forensics to be filed and analyzed. You note that from yesterday's search of the premises, Mr. Bucciolati's car has still not been found. You also note that while Mr. Bucciolati is checking in, Penny is glued to her phone the entire time, only reaching out to hand Mr. Bucciolati papers to sign and exchange cash for room keys. At 9:27 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati exits the lobby. At 9:43 p.m., a car that wasn't noticed in the guest check-ins drives by. Could this be the murderers? Let's see. You assume it could be a car that one of the alleged gang members was driving in. Nothing else of note happens until 9:46 p.m. when the feed abruptly cuts. Alright, time to return. Maybe the carport feed will give us some more information. Let's look there. The footage shows the carport. At 9:18 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati's car drives by, going past the carport and assumedly into the rear parking lot or back alley. You note that Mr. Bucciolati's car had been missing since this event, since it was not in the parking lot. At 9:22 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati walks into the lobby from the back, assumedly from where he parked the car. Few cars come and go, including one at 9:43 p.m. that wasn't noticed in the guest check-ins. So I guess this is the culprit's car. Is there anyone in there, though? Let's check. You assume it could be a car that one of the alleged gang members was driving in. Oh, nobody again. At 9:46 p.m., the feed abruptly cuts out. So my guess here is that they've got someone who can hack into the cameras. The footage shows the interior of the motel overlooking the pool. At 9:27 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati comes into view and enters his motel room. At 9:40 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati exits his room and walks to the poolside, taking a seat at one lounge chair with a magazine. Oh, I saw the glitch. At 9:46 p.m., the feed abruptly cuts out. Oh, there's that glitch again. The footage shows another view of the interior of the motel. At 9:40 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati walks to the poolside, taking a seat at one lounge chair with a magazine. At 9:46 p.m., the footage doesn't get cut out. You assume that this camera may be wired differently than the others. At 10 o'clock p.m., a man enters the motel from one of the back doors. Now, who is this guy? He'd been identified by the other guests as one of the alleged gang members. He continues to walk left, out of view of the camera. Aside from this man and his partner, 2 other people had been spotted at the scene. Both of them would have entered from the other back door and stayed in the blind spot under the second-floor hallway above. And since they can't be seen, there isn't a clear timestamp of when they arrived. At 10:08 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati closes his magazine and stands up, facing the space below. You assume that he's talking to the 2 men in the blind spot. At 10:12 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati turns to face the other 2 men on the other side. He takes a step back. One of the gang members starts approaching him. Looks like we got some spiky hair going on. I think this is Pesci, but I'm not sure. Either way, it kind of confirms my theory that La Squadra is indeed involved in this whole shebang. There seems to be a fight. He drops his magazine as he raises his hands. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if this is Pesci. It might be Chocolata or someone else. He's looking back at the space under the hallway. At 10:13 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati is shot. His body goes limp. He falls backwards into the water. After the splash, a bloom of black rises and spreads. You look away. At 10:14 p.m., a couple guests leave their rooms and run towards one of the motel's back doors. Nothing else of note happens. Well, there's where Bucciolati meets his end. This looks like another view of the incident. Let's check it out right now. The footage shows another view of the interior of the motel. At 9:27 p.m., Mr. Bucciolati exits the lobby and enters his motel room. Okay, looks like more of the same with the glitching and repeating the things that Bucciolati was doing. I'll just kind of skip through it. And yeah. Footage doesn't get cut out. You assume something camera wired differently. Okay, there's the first guy again. Still can't really place him. Oh, okay, so now there's 2. Once again, all I have to go on is that One of them is either Pesci or Chocolata, but the other one I can't really place with this low quality camera footage. He takes another step back as he raises his hands. Okay, he gets shot again. So I guess there was someone else involved with Bucciolotti, and the gang members were also targeting him. Seems like it could throw a wrench into some things. This is new. At 10:18 p.m., a figure wearing a hooded sweatshirt limps past and exits via the lobby. Who was that? Something about the limping figure bothers you. You can't quite explain it, but your intuition tells that this person could be important to the case. We have to find them. You blurt out before we realize what you'd said. You stare at the screen until the pixels burn your eyes. Who? Which guy? All we have are grainy profiles and backs. I don't think we'll be able to track any of them down with just this. You finally pull your gaze away to scowl at him. I'm talking about this guy, idiot. They're hurt, see? You replay the footage, pointedly glaring back at him. This could be the person Mr. Bucciolotti was talking to off screen. He could have been shot by the 2 other bullets at the scene. You take a pause. Or what if this person was another victim who also got caught in the crossfire? It seems that the 2 men in the blind spots knew enough about the motel to cut the cameras, enter, and leave without being seen. This person didn't. They could have seen their faces. That would make them an important eyewitness. Mr. Bucciolotti's car was missing from the scene. This figure could have been working with him and took his car. Mista exhales long and slow. That's a lot to assume. I mean, he could have just been another guest. We can try asking around, but if the cameras nor anyone else saw where the person went, I'm not sure we'll get anywhere. My guess is that this person ran off when the thugs did, and the townies haven't even tracked any of them down yet. The townies are incompetent. This person was injured. They couldn't have gotten far. Trying to find just this guy is going to set us back weeks. We don't have time for that. We have to focus on tracking down the other men and finding out whatever Mr. Bucciolotti was doing first. You begrudgingly close the file, but not before taking another long look at the figure. It's too late. You're already obsessed. So maybe we got another love triangle going on between Bruaba and whoever this mysterious other guy is? The footage shows the side building of the motel. At 9:18 p.m., Mr. Bucciolotti's car drives by, going past the carport and assumedly into the rear parking lot or back alley. At 9:21 p.m., Mr. Bucciolotti walks into view, assumedly going from where he parked the car to the lobby to check in. At 9:43 p.m., a car that wasn't noticed in the guest check-ins drives by. You assume it could be a car that one of the alleged gang members was driving in. At 9:46 p.m., the feed cuts out. Alright, that's pretty much all we can gather from the video cams, so let's go back to the main story. After reviewing everything, you close the program. Misa turns to the door of the back room and knocks. The manager answers, eyes red-rimmed. Sorry to bother you, but can we get the keys for the room that Mr. Bucciolotti was in? Room 42? And if you don't mind, ma'am, I'd like to take a copy of the security videos and a hard copy of the motel floor plans. I can't words. The lady sniffles and nods.
Of course.
She steps over the counter to give Mista the key. You collect the video files and papers and leave with Mista. You stand by and wait for Mista to unlock the door. Inside, you find that the room looked too clean, too neat. The bed sheets were still tucked in, the chair and all the furnishings still in their places. It seems like this Mr. Bucciolotti didn't touch the room at all, besides setting down a duffel bag on the bed that had been taken to the police station the day prior. Even though this room had already been looked over by the police yesterday, another look wouldn't hurt. There was a 13-minute gap between when he checked in and entered his room, and when he left to sit by the pool. There had to have been something he was doing here. So I guess this is going to be another investigation segment coming up. Looks like it. We hesitantly begin a search of the room. Oh, I guess we can't really click on anything here. It's just a set of cutscenes. After moving every piece of furniture and searching every crook and cranny, there was nothing. Not even any fingerprints. The bed and chairs in the room didn't look like they were even sat upon. There was no towels or amenities missing either. And certainly nothing like a bug or any piece of hidden tech. It really did seem like Mr. Bucciolotti came into the room, dropped off his bag, and then left out to sit by the pool. Why? What was he even doing in here? Mista sighs. Guess this is a dead end. Let's wrap up for the night. Neither of you could hide the looks of disappointment on your faces. So we both go back to our rooms for the day. With the information given by the manager and the evidence on the tapes, you spend the whole night putting together a painstakingly thorough timeline of events. With nothing but another 2 screwdrivers for company, you make use of the floor plans to draw a map of the route Mr. Bucciolotti and the other people involved took, annoyingly being unable to put anything down for the other 2 mysterious people there. And yet, The image of the limping figure is all you can see behind closed eyes. I love how the art style changes here for like the dreams or flashbacks or whatever we're going through here. I like how it looks a lot more natural, less pixelated. Oh, oh my god, the animation. Alright, this is the end of day 2. So yeah, usual Ko-fi plug for Rhoda Pomelo and the rest of the team, which I think is just Wink Blue in addition to Rhoda, but I'm going to leave it in the description, and just like always. There is a Discord server, which I'm also going to link as well. And as of now, I'm not part of the Ko-fi, so I don't know what the sneak peeks and behind the scenes stuff looks like, but if you check it out, I'm pretty sure you'll find out for yourself. Alright, so that's all for now. In terms of theories and stuff, I'm still kind of standing by my theory that La Squadra, or maybe even Unità Speciale, is behind this because of the one guy's spiky hair. As for the third person, I frankly have no idea who it is. I don't think it's Giorno because I think this is more of a past-centric thing, and for some reason I don't really think Giorno would fit well into this setting. But if so, that could be a pretty interesting wrench thrown into things, considering Abbacchio's relationship with him in canon. Alright, I guess all that's left to do for now is wait until the next installment. I, of course, will be there as soon as I can. So, yeah, I'll leave it here, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day, evening, or whatever time zone they're looking at this from.